Okay, welcome back, folks. Here's an interesting little tidbit from Lori's book. Less than half of the women over 40 end up getting married.
But it turns out that actually 40% of women over 40 will get married, according to that statistic. And I thought, well, at first that sounds pretty good, but then you think, wait a minute, 60% won't.
But does that mean not married or not a relationship?
Well, it means not married, but the thing is, the survey that they did was that it asked women if these are of women who wanted to be married.
Oh, okay.
So, you know, we're not saying here all women need or want to be married, because we don't. But there are a lot of women who do want to be married. And of those people, they are finding that, you know, 60% of them did not get married. So, you know, I don't mean to be, you know, depressing about this. The point of that statistic in the book was to say, you know, we think when we're in our 20s that the dating pool is always going to be the same, that the way we date is always going to be the same. And it changes so much. You forget that, you know, there are going to be fewer available men, and everybody's going to come with something else because you all have more history. So you've got more baggage. So you either have like another marriage behind you, and you've got custody issues, and you've got kids, or you've never been married and you have, you know, 15 years of dating disappointment behind you. And you just bring different things, and your life is different. You probably have less flexibility in your life because you're more set in your career. You can't move to a different city, whatever it is. You're going to hold out, and you'd rather be alone until you're 80 and to hold out for that fantasy.
I just want to make it clear that we're not alone when we're not married. I mean, I'm not married, and I have a fulfilling life because I choose to find fulfillment in my nieces and nephews and my friends and their families.
Right, but a lot of
yes,
people...
there is a part of me that wishes I could have that complete picture that looks so appropriate to other people, but I don't have it, and I have to be okay that it is just as wonderful and fulfilling to love a different way.
It is okay, but I think if people, you know, if you ask the people that I surveyed for the book and actually all the studies that were done by these people who study marriage and dating, you know, found that the people who did want to be married actually felt that, you know, there was this part of their lives that they very much wanted. And, you know, they didn't want to be like the only adult at the kids' table at Thanksgiving every year. You know, and it wasn't just about appearances. It was about the day-to-day. They miss that. And when a lot of people around you are married at a certain age, it does get lonely, the day-to-day of it.
It does. It does. But you can also be extremely lonely in a relationship.
You can, and you will be, because
it might not be as obvious to other people, but you can still feel that sense of loneliness. So I just think there's so many women out there and so many men who are alone. Statistically, we know that. And at some point, you just want to say, you know what, it's okay. And you can find happiness every day. And yes, do you want a companion to share things with all the time and have somebody to comfort you when you've had a tough day? Yeah, but that's where friendships and family come in a different way. But yes, there's another level to the intimacy of a relationship. And yes, don't we all wish we could have that?
I mean, a lot of us wish we could have what those people right there have. And she said, you know, he wasn't exactly what originally she was looking for. And that's sort of the point of the book, is that you might fall in love and be married for all these years and be really happy with someone who you didn't initially think was your type.
Nefertiti, you were saying somebody emailed you. Sorry, Rich.
Well, you were talking about the smiley face guy, and I have almost the exact same story where I had just started sort of talking to this guy, and, you know, we started emailing a little bit. And he would include like smiley faces and, you know, LOL and all that kind of stuff in his email. And I was just like, okay, this isn't going to work out. But I did give him a chance. And, you know, we dated for a little while. And he ended up being a complete psycho in the end. So obviously my instinct was correct to, you know, not want anything to do with this guy. So I don't know. I think sometimes when you feel like maybe you're focusing on something trivial, if there's a real gut feeling there that something is not correct with this person, you're probably still right.
Yeah, the trivial thing could be triggering it.
My feeling is, if you're using emoticons in your emails and stuff, you better be a 12-year-old girl. And ultimately, that is pretty much exactly how he behaved anyway.
Good point.
Which is why the relationship
but you know what?
That's a good point.
But there's some, you know, there's an example in the book of somebody who, she said, I never would have met my husband if I had known that he couldn't spell.
Right.
And he couldn't spell at all. And he's brilliant. And he's adorable. And I would marry him in a second if she wasn't married to him. But the thing is, she said, he actually had a friend proofread his emails to her. Every email that they sent, and then he immediately wanted to meet her because he knew he couldn't keep this email thing going because he can't spell very well. And so she didn't know that he couldn't spell. And once they were dating, he admitted that he couldn't spell. And she was really surprised because he's so smart, and that's the person she's married to and very happy with. But, you know, again, we have these like little things like, you know, we microanalyze, you know, oh, they misspelled this word. Somebody was just saying that, you know, they misspelled this word, so I'm not going to go out with him. That means he's not smart. We make these assumptions.
Okay. Well, I think all the girls here were saying, even though we had that gut reaction, we still did go out with them.
Yeah, but is a guy a psycho because he can't spell, or is he just a psycho?
I didn't say anybody was a psycho. I don't use that
her guy,
term.
her guy.
That's Nefertiti's.
Her guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm saying like, was he a psycho because, you know,
Well,
he used emoticons?
can we use a different word? He was
no.
not right for you.
Right. I mean, like I was saying, the 12-year-old girls use emoticons, and that was pretty much how he behaved.
Right, right.
Every time we would get into something, you know, a disagreement over something significant, it was like dealing with a 12-year-old girl. So I think the LOLs and all that was indicative of something much larger, which is probably why I objected to it in the first place.
And that's exactly how every guy I date is.
What do you mean?
But your guys are tools. You've even
Yes,
said that.
I know.
What do you mean they're tools? What do you mean, Ashley?
Mostly every guy I go out with is a prime candidate for Tool Academy. No joke.
We'll talk later. You know, Leif, you can help these girls. Because you're the same age, and I think I always encourage everybody that works here, talk to each other and help each other out, because we're like a family. You can help each other, and that's the same thing with friends. You got to tell each other that I don't think, you know, you can do better than that or feel better about yourself. And we can talk about the dating coach when we come back. Okay, we have one more segment. We'll be back and talk about the dating coach.